Hi, thank you so much, Jitagwa Captain Jiragawa Jerry, and this is the Trumpet of Hope, where we inspire, inform, and educate. And I'm here with Faith Nashipae. How are you?
I'm very fine.
Thank you so much. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
I want to salute one Cecilia Ndegwa who did this connection.
Cecilia is my sister.
Yes, you people look alike.
She's my sister.
That is very good.
Yes.
She's one person that I respect. She is working with Optiven.
Yes.
When you want to buy a land and own a proper land in Kenya, hey, get to the website here, Optiven Limited. They are genuine. They sell land that has a title deeds, and they are selling land everywhere in this country. I will take you on a tour of their newest project in Nanyuki, Oasis Gardens. Very good, very beautiful, very nice place. It's just about 7 kilometers from Nanyuki town, and it is a beautiful place where you can buy land and feel good. We are at Landmark Suites. This one is a beautiful place where you can call home. They have nice rooms, 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms. They have a swimming pool. They have a garden for your weddings and for your party, for your birthdays. You can just bring your event right here at Landmark Suites. It is along Kiambu Road. As you can see, we are at the roof top of Landmark Suites, a beautiful place where you can call home, where you can hold your events. And today we are talking about the boy child, because it is important, the man. And I want Faith to introduce herself and to tell us what she does. Apart from knowing her as a champion of thriving families, she is also a counselor, and she'll tell us about all that. So welcome and say hello to our viewers in the Trumpet of Hope.
Thank you so much, Captain. I truly appreciate being here, and this is a great honor. I know we have really been talking about me doing this, and yes, I was checking my system and it was like 1 year ago.
Yes.
2020 actually, in December. That's when we started talking.
Yes.
My name is Faith Nashipae, as you've heard. I am the MBA, that is the Men and Boys Ambassador. I am also leading an organization called Thriving Communities Africa. And with Thriving Communities Africa, what we do, and just as the MBA, we are engaging men so that men can be able to impact on the next man. I think Kenya, we have really been talking too much about the boy child, and boy child ametekelezwa, boy child ameachiliwa. So now it is time for every man, and I'm calling out on every man to reach out to a young man in his environment. And please don't think that you're not able to do it. Please don't think that because I have my own issues, I cannot be able to inspire. A young man maybe just looks for a hug. A young man just looks for a word of encouragement. That young boy just looks for the right kind of model to show him the direction. That is what I talk about. I'm also a mental health practitioner in Kenya, and I am excited to be with you today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, Faith, now tell me about yourself, because I see Faith Nashipae, she talks Kikuyu like she's born in Kiambu.
Yes, everybody says Masai anaongea Kikuyu. Mumadai wa Gwashe. My father is from Kiambu, and I grew up in Odero, Kafete.
Okay.
Geshagi. Then my mom is from Narok, and my mom happens to know more Kikuyu, just like she knows Masai. So my mother tongue is Kikuyu. But I'm named after my mom's mom.
Okay.
And I carry my name Nashipae with pride. It simply means joy and happiness.
And that is for sure. I can underline that.
Thank you.
You are always very, very happy and always smiling.
Asante.
And that is good.
Yeah.
Okay. Now tell me about the organization that you started. The Thriving Families Initiative Africa.
We started as Thriving Families Kenya. And when we started as Thriving Families Kenya, I had actually left work. And I felt that for me it was not to look for another job, because I remember at my workplace I asked God, if truly this is what you want me to do, because I had the whole idea, I had this whole thing that I want to do an impact on families, and this is an idea that had been birthed as early as 2010, 2012, 2009. And I remember I did a brochure and shelved it, because at that time I was looking for money, my children needed to eat. So we decided, okay, wacha niende kazi. And I got a very good job with an NGO, an international NGO, and I worked for about 7 years. Then in 2018, I got uncomfortable. I got my next appointment, which was going to give me a job for the next 5 years.
Okay.
Which would have ended this last year.
Yes.
Yes. And what happened is that I asked God, okay, you've given me this. Then what? Will I be doing the same thing all through? And I asked God, I know I prayed that you give me this job. I know I cried that you give me this job. But if this is not in your will for me to live within the next 5 years, then God, fire me.
Wow.
And he did.
Serious faith.
I actually got a redundancy letter because we were having budget cuts in the project.
Okay.
So, and after that, I was called back like 3 or 4 times and I declined. I chose not to. Why? Because the minute I started asking God, what next? How do I go about this? He revealed to me that my purpose was in inspiring, is in encouraging, is in rebuilding, is in looking at the social decadence and how do we clean up our society? How do we encourage the families? Then when I landed out here, God showed me, no, your agenda is men and boys. I had been talking about men and boys for a very long time. But yes, I'm a mother of 3 wonderful sons. But then I realized there is more to it. And God started revealing to me. I mean, you get on a boda boda, the boda boda tells you, mimi sitaki kuona skirt karibu na mimi. You ask him what is wrong. And he tells you the way his wife, no, sitaki kusikia kanisa, na sitaki kuona I don't want to hear about churches. I don't want to see a skirt. And I was like, brother, what is wrong? And he tells me his beef is about his wife who had left because I joined kanisa fulani. And he's telling me at my age of 49, how do I even start life again? And he tells me, I have been to hospital, I have been in depression for a whole month, I have slept in hospital, and now I'm back to boda boda and I'm having challenges. So you meet another one who's a very high flying person and he tells you, madam, I love what you're doing. Because I am one person who has a lot of honor when I get into my office. I'm highly respected and honored. But when I go home, I'm going to an empty system. Yeah. I'm going to a place of dishonor. I'm going to a place where everything that I am is just broken and crushed at the door. So then I started looking at the boy child. And yes, I'm a mother of sons. And I realized that if we continue talking about the girl child the way we are talking about her and forgetting or neglecting the boy child, 50 years to come in Kenya and the world over, we shall now be talking about bring the boy on the table. And as a mother, I realized that my son needs to be on the table. Why? Because it is in godly order for us to have men as leaders. It is in godly order for us to have women supporting and also becoming leaders. Yes. It is in godly order for us to have the man. It is in our social systems, and patriarchy is part of this, where men are community and family leaders. We cannot run away from the reality of the man being a leader. But I had a problem with this leader. I have a problem with the man that he is. I have a problem with what makes him. And therefore, for me, I realized that my issue is not about just talking about mwanaume ametelekezwa. My issue is going beyond. My issue is looking at this issue of gender-based violence, for example.
Yes.
Why do we have a lot of men who are being told that they are perpetrators, and we do not have women who are a lot of perpetrators? What is this that constitutes this perpetrator? How do we stop him from becoming a perpetrator? Instead of us talking about GBV from a victim point, why can't we go back and look at, is it narcissism? Is it the foundations of this man? Is it that everything he saw when he was growing up was just beating people around? What is this that makes a man? And that is why for me, I talk about, I program, I look at programs that are, I program and implement programs that are empowering and equipping men and boys of the society.
Thank you so much. Together with us is Faith Nashipae. She is a counselor and a mental health champion here in Kenya, and also a men
and boys
ambassador. And this becomes very interesting, and we are here at Lemak Suits, and we feel so honored to be together with the Faith and Nashipae, so that we can talk about the things that are affecting the society today. Yesterday, while watching the news, we saw this lady who was beaten by the wife and by the husband, and she had all the bad cuts everywhere. We have seen it all. We have had people who have been fighting gender-based violence that has been fatal. Where does gender-based violence affect the child? You as a counselor, as a mental health campaigner, where does or how does gender-based violence affect the child?
We are born in an environment where we are playing, and we write. When you have a child, you're given a plain book to write on. Remember the way we were doing drawing?
Yes.
Alafu ulikuwa unakuja na kitabu iko na karatasi plain. That is the kind of mind and the kind of heart that we are given.
Yes.
And intrinsically everybody is good, but the environment now becomes a problem to us, because the environment that the father and the mother are going to create for this child will shape the life of this child, will shape the value system of this child, will shape his decision making and his way of looking at life.
Yes.
Now, then you realize that when you're having domestic violence in a family environment, if it is a boy and it is the father who's beating the mother, the boy only knows that the way to solve conflict, the way to communicate is through beating. If the mother is the one who is serving gender-based violence, it could be even just you know, because women, we are good at that. And you realize that she's fighting Cold War, but she's forgetting that even in her Cold War, the daughter is watching and she's learning. Our children, Captain, do not learn from what we say, they learn more from what we do. The example that we set. And even David said in the book of Psalms that example is better than prescribing or instruction. Is it David or Solomon? One of them. So at the end of the day, you realize that the example that parents are setting are the ones that are destroying the lives of these children. When they grow up, there's nothing else that they're going to give, because what you have coded them with, and that is why I came up with #CodeWell, is because when you code the wrong way, you're affecting this child not just there, but into the next generation. If you train a child that the environment is a loving environment, it is a warm environment, it is a beautiful environment, it is a place where they can express themselves, where they can talk about their issues comfortably, and they can be listened to, and they can argue in a diplomatic manner, that is the same kind of generations that you will have tomorrow. But when you do not do it that way, then we are affecting our next generations. Yes.
And thank you so much. Together with us in the Trumpet of Hope, where we inspire and inform and educate, is Faith Nashipae. And I want Faith to tell us, at the moment, do you think that we are living in a very bitter and angry society? And what is your prescription as a men and boys ambassador? What is your prescription to deal with the anger and bitterness that we are finding ourselves growing up in?
Wow. Before I respond to that, let us look at where this anger and bitterness is coming from. Because we have a lot of issues in the society that we always want to ignore and throw under the carpet and say that things are okay. A woman has been married to a man, and the man is cheating. The woman becomes a bitter person, and she knows about it, and she wants to keep the marriage, but now she becomes a bitter person, because how does she even talk about it? And when she tries to talk about it, she's punched, or she's told off, or economically she's deprived of the rights in the family and all that, and sharing of the economic system or the economic gains in the family are withdrawn. So you realize that there's bitterness. The man, on the other hand, comes home and maybe he has lost. COVID made us lose so much. And economically, so many men lost. And so men are either bitter, or they are lost, or they don't know how to respond to their current situation. Nobody tells men how to deal with life. Nobody teaches them how to deal with life. So you realize that these men, they're coming home, and they're coming home to a bitter woman because she was used to a certain kind of life. And somehow in our society, we do not even prepare people for changes. And we don't sit down and say, okay, we are having this kind of change. How do we accommodate one another within this transformation and this change? So you realize that some of these changes are the ones that are bringing bitterness in the lives of people.
Yeah.
And then now we are having a lot of losses that are also bringing bitterness and pain in the society. Then again, couple it with where people are coming from. I mean, people so many of us came from very difficult backgrounds. And some of these wounds are built, are marks within us, and they've never left us. And so you realize that people are having a lot of bitterness and a lot of kidogo tu kona venom tu inamwagika mahali.
Yeah.
So how do we deal with this? We first, number one, need to listen to our hearts. We need to listen to ourselves. Number two, and when I say listen to our hearts, we need to ask ourselves, am I being fair to myself? Am I right when I'm doing this? Question yourself, have retrospect. Have an opportunity to ask yourself hard questions, personal hard questions. That is what we say, eh?
Yes.
A come to Jesus moment. Unajita kamushamanio, you ask yourself hard questions about your emotional well-being, about your mental well-being. The other thing that I would say is men need to talk. My brothers, you just need to talk. We cannot continue not talking, and you're talking with blows and punches. It is not going to help anyone. In the process of blows and punches, the woman goes to hospital. Ile pesa kidogo iko inaenda huko. In the process of it, you have wounded and hurt your child. They cannot trust you anymore. They see you as an animal. I have talked to women who've told me, getting a man, no way. The kind of life I saw my mother live, I cannot accept a man.
Yeah.
So you realize that the problems we have, even the feminists, they are a concussion of our society. That is why I asked on Facebook the other day, when this border issue happened, I asked one question. I asked, where is the problem coming from? Yes, this has happened and it is not right. And yes, that guy did the wrong thing. Border people are my partners and we talk with them. And I asked, where is this man coming from? He's coming from a society. He's coming from your community. He's coming from your home. He's a father or he's a son to someone. Or he's a husband to someone. Or he's a brother to someone. What happened in his life for him to become that rogue? Because he did not just start becoming rogue. Is it money that he's looking for? Is it fame that he's looking for? Is it some level of bitterness that he has that now he's trying to push it on someone else? What is it that we are doing in our society? And then the biggest solution that we have, Captain, is that every one of us has a solution to this issue. All of us. The day we are going to remove issues of gender from the government and bring them to our houses, the day we are going to start looking at those statistics of gender-based violence in our country as statistics that can become part of us in our families. And when we start looking at the boy child as an equal child in this country, and we give him a voice like we are giving the girl child, when we start empowering and equipping the boy at his formative stages, giving him equal opportunities to go to the market as the sister so that he learns how to manage his economics, giving him opportunities to manage his time, and unampatia kazi ya kuosha nyumba pia, anaanza kujua life skills akiwa kwa nyumba. Other than saying that mwanaume haendagi jikoni. Other than saying mwanaume haoshangi manguo. We need to train our boys how to be independent, just like we are training our girls. And we need to give them the right life skills for them to survive in life. The day we are going to do these things, understand that he's not like the father. He is an individual. He's unique. There is greatness in him. Even when you're bitter with the father, you don't tell your child, unakaa tu kama babako. No way. Talk to him. Speak greatness in him. Prophesy greatness in your son. He is a product of your womb. When he fails, you will fail too in your generations.
Beautiful.
When we realize that our work as parents is molding the next Kenya, and we look at families and we look at children, we look at the boy child, beyond where he is right now, and we see him as the next leader, we see him as the next father, we see him as the next president, then our attitudes will change. And then the biggest thing, when you see your child as the next arrow, as the arrow of light into the next generation, you will query what kind of light he's taking.
Thank you so much. Together with us is Faith Nashipae. I would wish you repeat the organizations that you work for and what you do, because of the people who are joining us right now. This is the program from Trumpet of Hope, where we inspire, inform, and educate. And I want to really salute every person who is our member, our supporter. It feels very good to have all of you. So tell us the organizations once again that you work for.
Thank you. I used to work for Thriving Families Kenya, but then because of the strategic direction of our programs and because of the posterity of the agenda of men and boys engagement, we established Thriving Communities Africa.
Okay.
So because we desire to go into we realized, even with our stakeholders and partnering with different people across the continent, we realized that the issue of the boy is not just a Kenya issue. The issue of domestic violence. I was talking to someone before I came here. I was talking to someone in Cameroon, and he was telling me in South Africa, gender-based violence and domestic violence is too high. So you realize that this is not just an issue of a continent, it's international. So for us, we look at Thriving Families. We are looking at promoting positive masculinity. We are engaging men. We are also empowering the boy child. We are also working on mental health and coming up with programs for any community that you would think, be it your corporate community, be it your chama, be it chama cha wazee yenye mnaendaga kukula mbuzi captain. We are forming very good ideas. We have very good products that are there to transform the lives of people through mental health, through men engagement, and also through working with destitutes and children who are disadvantaged. Our desire is to see everybody in Kenya at least contribute an hour or two, either in the life of a destitute, so that they can train them on value systems and give them the kind of emotional support that they normally don't get in the children's homes. Or the other idea is to have men come out, register with us, and then we allocate you a school that is next to your place. And at least you go there, you give your 2 hours in a month or in a week, at least on a Friday afternoon or a Saturday morning, going to a school and teach a value or inspire a boy or transform the lives of a boy, because that is what we need in our country.
Thank you so much. So if people would wish to reach you or to reach your organization, what is the avenue?
Perfect. Our website is still in progress, is still work in progress. So our number is 0703 677 757, 0703 677 757. And we also have our Facebook page. You can write to us a text, a DM, a direct message on our Facebook, that is Thriving Communities Africa. We are also on Twitter, and we are having wonderful projects. One thing that we have not talked about is that we are setting up county men's forums.
County men's forum. Okay.
Yes. Our engagement is big and our vision is broad. We are establishing county men's forums so that we can talk about these social norms change. How do we change these cultures that are not helping us? How do we transform these cultures that are going to support both the man and the boy in the next generation? How do we bring the man from, because I keep saying in gender, we empowered the girl, we left the man, and we left the boy. How do we bring him on board? And that is through the county men's forums. So we also have a beautiful product we call Nitasimama Imara. And Nitasimama Imara is purely calling out the man, Asimame Imara, simply meaning I will stand firm. And when the man is standing firm, we are saying stand firm for your own good all round. Stand firm and mentor the next generation. Stand firm and impact your society through protecting and supporting the women and the sisters in your life. That is purely what we're saying in standing firm.
Thank you so much, Faith Nashipae, for coming for our program. And I know that out of this program, people will get inspired. People will know that there is something that needs to be done, and it's a call to action. And I believe that we will take the initiative so that we can have a beautiful environment for the next generation. A Bountiful Safaris that is owned by Esther Njoroge, who is one of the successful women in business here in Kenya today, have started an initiative that we call Tembeza Wazazi. Get to www.bountifulsafaris.com and you will get to know the programs that we have, where you can be able to go and visit, and especially that special treat for that parent who brought you to this world. Tembeza Wazazi and a Bountiful Safaris, and you know what? You can lipa pole pole and you give your mom or your dad a treat, or even that couple that spoke in your wedding. Suppose they go out somewhere and they relax for 2-3 days. We give them a Land Cruiser a ride. We take them for lunch. We take them for dinner. We take them for a night out. They get massage like we did to Baba and Mama Ruth Ragos from Thika. We took them all the way to Nanyuki and they really had a beautiful moment. So you can do that to your parent and it becomes very good. That is through the Bountiful Safaris, whose president and owner is Esther Njoroge, who is also one of the very successful business women here in Kenya. Thank you so much. Now, there's something that I would wish to ask, and this one is about the current environment where we are having people so bitter on Facebook, on social media. As a counselor, now this one is as a counselor, what do you tell this society? What do I do when I am so bitter with my wife? What do I do when I'm so bitter with my husband? What do I do when I'm so bitter with my mom as a single mother? So I'm the son. Can you speak to these people?
Wow. I will say this. The bitterness in you is something that you can deal with and let go. You only have to look deep into yourself and ask yourself, is this helping me or is it not helping me? If it is not helping you, then it is always good to put off something that does not work for you. And how do we put it out? Issues of emotional issues are issues that are deep. You may never understand the disease until you see people acting in a different way.
Yes.
And that is what we are seeing in social media and the venom that we are seeing across board. But I want to tell people that there is hope and we can decide to forgive. First, forgive yourself for allowing yourself to be in an environment that is so bitter and so volatile, or something that is not working. Number two, understand why you have gotten there. Because you can be bitter but you don't understand why. Understand why you have gotten there. And once you have understood how and why you have gotten there, then you'll be able to walk back and be able to peel off and say, this I am going to leave behind. This I'm going to drop off. It is not helping me. The other thing is expose yourself to as much positive environment as possible. If you notice that going on social media, or the people that you have in your link, in your clique, or your people around you are very venomous and very negative, pull off. I mean, friends are always there to support us.
Yes.
I mean, Captain, you're a wonderful friend, very positive vibes. How then do we, I don't have to keep negative vibes if I can get positive vibes from Captain. The other thing is, look out for anything positive in your mind and speak it.
Thank you.
Speak it. Speak your positive. Speak your positive even when you're feeling like you're breaking. Speak your positive even when you feel like the only thing I have right now is venom. Now shut up. Then look for positive and present that positive. That is what we need on social media. Maze, tuache kukua ni kama sisi ndio tunakuanga ambassadors wa vitu mbaya, wataachana tu, o sijui mpandangazi hushuka, let us change our narrative, as my brother Dr. Mutua would say, Ezekiel Mutua would say, let's change our narratives as Kenyans. We need to transform our society. it will take you and me, and it will take us to accept, to own, and then to change.
Thank you so much. That is Faith Nashipae, and she is a champion for the men and the boys, and I know that we are getting somewhere. Now, as a closing remarks, or maybe the final question, people stay in very abusive relationships and marriage. We have seen women who have been abused, beaten, and to an extent killed just because they wanted to be called Wangania, because they want to protect the status quo in the society, in the family, in the church. When do you advise as a counselor? When is the right time to leave and to go and be on your own? And what preparations, what drives, or what are the red flags? And you say, now this one, I'm going. That's a broad question, but you can narrow it.
Wow, that's a difficult one, but I'll try and address it. Number one, I want to say that I am one person who advocates for marriages 100%. It is hard for you to have a thermometer of when someone needs to leave or not. At ikifika 100 degrees na ikifika 50 degrees ndivyo watu wanatoka. It is hard for you to measure that. Why? Because everybody gets into a relationship with a reason.
Yes.
And everybody gets into a relationship with some expectations. So many of these things that you're seeing and the problems you're seeing are expectations that have not been met.
Yeah.
But what I would want to say is this. I am not here to tell you leave. I am not here to tell you stay. I am here to tell you that your kind of material that you're using for your marriage is totally different from what Captain or what Faith is using. So as at when you want to move or when you do not want to move, that is upon you. That is a decision that you sit down and you make as an individual. However, I want to emphasize that you don't stay in a relationship and die. We'd rather have you as a divorcee or a single parent than have you dead and start wondering how children are going to be taken care of. And therefore, with that said, look for solutions. Look for solutions. If the solutions are not within, then look for solutions outside. And looking for solutions outside can be meeting with a counselor, meeting with a marriage and family therapist, ensuring that the two of you, and I keep saying, there is no way one person is going to resolve a marriage. It takes two. It is two people who are living in that marriage. It takes those two people to work on a marriage. So, dear men, when you realize that there is something, or your wife is saying twende counseling, please, usione ni kama naenda kukutoa nje. In fact, that is just the same way you would take your finances to a financial advisor. It is the same way you would take a wound that is kidole imeleta iko na kidonda. It is the same way you would take that to a doctor. It is the same way you would wake up and feel like your heart is not working, is not beating very well, and you decide to go, is not pumping very well, and you decide to go to a doctor. Such is the same way, is the service that you're given in a counseling and psychologist's environment. The only difference is that now it is talking about things that you're not used to talk about. You're not used to talking about your emotions because you were never taught how to talk about your emotions. You're not used to talking about how someone is treating you because according to you and culture, and the way wanaume wanaendaga wakitairishwa wanaambiangwa mudu daragiana ado, maudu mamudu ni mamudu, you know, mambo yako ni yako kwa hivyo usolve kama mwanaume. But ikikuklemea sana, please walk into a counseling room. Let us help you. We are professionals. We are going to keep your business to us in that environment because it is an ethical condition for us to remain confidential with your information. The next thing that you need to do is be realistic to yourself. Be realistic to yourself. Sit down and ask yourself, am I treating this woman right? If I was put in her same shoe, would I be treating her this? Would I want to be treated in that way? Same as the woman, ask yourself the same question because we also have very venomous women. And we are having so many men who are crying and screaming and saying, Made, mimi imeisha sasa, I want to die because my family is done. But we can change, we can heal, we can become better people. Marriages can become better. If it doesn't work, and if unachapwa, whether it is a man or a woman, I mean, we have so many men who are being beaten.
Mashini zinakatwa.
Wanaume wanachapwa vibaya sana. So if you're the one who's being beaten and you feel that this is not working for me, either communicate if it is possible and step aside. If it is not possible, step aside, but at least look for a way of resolving the issue. Separation is also a way of supporting and helping family. Because we also, I think it's good that people talk about these things as they are today.
Yes.
It doesn't have to end with a divorce. You can take a break, stay out for a certain period of time, evaluate whether you're really into this, evaluate whether you're giving the right kind of support to this relationship, evaluate whether you're the right kind of person in this relationship, and then when you're comfortable and when the two of you sit down and agree and you've gone through sessions of counseling so that you can heal and you can find yourselves, then go back and give us the best family that you could ever give us and give us a very happy relationship. But if it is not working, not working.
Thank you
That's
so
what it
much.
is. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I know the society is now nowadays embracing single fathers, men who are taking care of their children alone. The society is now embracing single mothers, women who are taking care of their children alone. I am a product of one. That is why I call myself Njeri. The society, the church is now embracing mothers and fathers who are single mothers, because we don't have, or single parents, we don't have to always have men and women who are depressed, who are going through mental challenges, men and women who are brutal, who have slashed each other's ears and hands and legs. We don't have to always have men and women who are being buried. You know, I don't know whether you know, we have been going for funerals, not because somebody got an incurable disease, but because a partner woke up in the night and slashed the other partner, and they have their children. We have had cases of men and women who have woken up in the middle of the night, touched the house ablaze, and everybody in the house dies. I think the society is now embracing that if it is not working, you can take a break, because that is the reality. And you know, all this begins because of our dating and our relationship stage. It is now not the days whereby I used to come and know you in and out. We meet at Landmarks. One of us takes an initiative. The lady gets pregnant. We get married, not because we loved each other, but because there is a product or there is a result of unprotected sex, and eventually we get married. Down the line, 10, 15 years, the lady goes to look for her sweetheart, and the man goes to look for his best friend. Eventually, they realize, I'm seeing somebody outside, she is being seen by somebody. Eventually, the relationship dies. There's no fire. There's no connection. There's no connection.
It's not working anymore.
It's no longer working.
Yeah.
And it has become a danger. And that is why it is important, if you're dating, if you're in a relationship, it's important to see counselors.
Yes.
So if people want to see you, even for this premarital engagement, the preparations, what would you, or where would they see you, or how would they reach you?
Perfect. We have an office in Nairobi, even though our office in Nairobi is one that you have to book an appointment.
Important.
We also have an office in Nyeri, Nyeri Complex. We have an office on 2nd floor. You can call us on the number that I gave.
Repeat again.
0703 677 757. Book an appointment. Let us get you organized. We have an organization that has counselors and psychologists that support us. We also have a network of psychologists across the country who have offices. So we don't just pride ourselves in having one office or two offices. We have people that we are working with different people across the country. So at no one time will you call us and we do not have a solution for you. When it comes to matters to do with mental health and psychosocial support, or even counseling on marriage and family counseling, or even calling us for your marriage and family couples meetings and couple talks when you're having that in your churches or even in your groups, because yes, marriage needs to move. This married couple thing needs to move from church. We need to go, unaona venye watu wanaendaga chama.
Yes.
People need to start looking at every opportunity as an opportunity to fix our families and our marriages. Because without a family, you don't have a community. And without a family, you don't have Kenya. So the minute we start interpreting it this way, ati mkiamua kukula nyama watu wa area moja, munaitana pia na mnakuwa na dakika 10 ama dakika 20 ya kuleta Faith anaongea na nyinyi, tunaongea story ya family, tunaongea story ya watoto. Hakuna mtu alizaliwa, hakuna mtu aliingia kwa marriage akiwa na kitabu ya parenting.
Yes.
And I was also never given a manual for marriage. So we need to keep talking about this, and we need to keep supporting one another and helping one another. I am very very different in my approach. I will not sit down and wait for you in my counseling room. That is why I work with different people at different levels in the community to reach out to give their services. What I do is that I look at whatever social opportunity we have, and even if it is 5 minutes, let us deliver a message.
Thank you so much. Finally, as we come to a close of this very important program in the Trumpet of Hope, where we inspire, we inform and educate. Faith, I know that we are having a problem that requires to be addressed. The issue of domestic or gender-based violence, the issue of a boy child who feels incomplete and he doesn't fit in the society, because women have become very empowered. If you will get out on that road, you'll tell that the vehicles that women are driving and the number women have become empowered.
Yes.
But we still have that group of women who are still not empowered.
Yeah.
And that is why they will continue living in a very abusive relationship. Because one, they have a vehicle. The man pays the house rent, the man pays the electricity tokens, the man pays the water bill, the man takes care of school fees, the man brings the food. You are just there, seated. If that man starts abusing you emotionally or physically, or really beating you, you will not have anywhere to go. You try to go to your parents count the money that they were given, and they think that they cannot be able to refund because you are not empowered. What do you tell the woman as far as being empowered, especially to solve the issue of gender-based violence that are fatal?
I want to talk to 3 people, and I like the way you've put it. You've put the woman, you've put the parents, and you've also put the man.
Yes.
So allow me to talk to the 3. Number 1, the woman. Find something to do with your hands. God blesses the work of our hands. Get out of that space where you're just locked and you're not doing anything with yourself. I mean, we have cotton industries. When I was growing up, my mother used to make us, sisi ndio tulikuwa tunamuzia masweta area. She was a nurse, yes, but again, she would come home and give us sweater. Pelekea mama fulani. And every time you take, unarudi na kapesa, you know? So there is a way that women, we can change our lives. You don't have to have a very big supermarket, leave in the morning and come back. We also have internet jobs nowadays. You only need your phone or you only need a laptop and you're able to do quite a lot. So women, let us rise up and let us get beyond where we are. And mi usema, 1000 yako 3 kwa mfuko, ukiwa kwa nyumba, imepita mita 10 ya mwanaume yenye kwa mfuko yake. It is beyond. So women, let us seek out for opportunities to get ourselves liquid. It is very important. And the other thing is, don't lose your voice in a relationship. By not being able to place anything on the table, by not being able to bring sukuma when he's bringing chicken, you're losing your voice. Get your voice. Get your voice even in discussions. Get your voice. Read. I mean, we are in an age where people read and get information. Read broadly. Listen to YouTube connections. I mean, do whatever you have to do to get yourself educated and empowered. And as you do this, You're not doing it to subject this man to lack of respect and lack of honor. You're doing it to empower the system and become the better support system. The next person I would talk to is the parent. Wazazi, tafadhali, if your daughter comes home or your son comes home and tells you this is a problem, there's a problem in my relationship, listen. Don't say tulikupeana. Don't say uliamua. Apana. Because the next thing that you might get in our current generation is a coffin. So to avoid a coffin, and children and grandchildren who do not have parents, please listen to us as parents and walk with us the journey. Help us. Even if you don't have an answer, just listen and let us cry on your shoulders. Then help us to find our way out. The other person I would want to talk to is the man. Dear men, you know I call you my tribe. And I appreciate men so much and my young boys. You are the people that we look up to. If you do not give love, you will not get love from me. If you spread hatred, that is what you're going to get back.
Yeah.
If you show me that you're too busy, I'll also be busy for you. Because for us, we are created to nurture. So what you give me, I cook it nicely, I incubate it, and I give you in doubles. Unfortunately, when you're giving me negatives, probability is that I will fight with the positive that I have until I'm depleted of the positive and I can only give back the negative. So men, you have a lot of stake in this. A lot of stake in this. And please, when you're treating her as nothing, remember that you took her from her parents, placed her in your house. She's an equal human being. Treat her well, because after everything is done, na umezunguka, wanasemanga midlife crisis, wamezunguka, wamefanya kila kitu, wamenunua Bugatti, wakatembea na tusichana, eventually mutumia mukurosho kagiro nake na maidori. So when you do that, please remember, pale tu mwishoe kuna mahali marejoni ngamani pale mwisho kuna mahali mtarudiana, and I don't know whether she'll be able to take you in.
Thank you so much. We have been discussing very important issues together with Faith Nashipae. She is the founder and the president of an organization called Thriving Communities Africa. She is based here in Kenya and doing great things. Now, I want us to have a conclusion, because I know we have discussed so many things. So, what is your closing remark in all of this?
Our society needs to be different. And we can only change our society if we look within. We cannot continue looking at governments. We cannot continue looking at our neighbors. We cannot continue looking at the next person. You have to look within, and then you extend grace. And I keep saying, extend grace. Be kind, extend grace. That is very important. And as I close, thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you,
Captain Njoroge. I truly appreciate, and you're doing a wonderful job with the Trumpet of Hope. And I pray that this is not just the end. We're going to have more discussions. And God bless you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, as we come to a conclusion, you can visit the offices. You can get to the Facebook page of Faith Nashipae, and you will see the kind of work that she's doing. When it comes to mental health, she's a professional. When it comes to the issues of marriage, relationships, child, and everything to do with that, she is a professional. She is also a project manager.
Project management professional.
She's a project management professional and a mental health counselor,
mental health practitioner.
Very good. So when we get these kind of people on our Trumpet of Hope, it is important for us to engage them. Once again, the contacts are
0703 677 757.
Thank you so much. They have field offices all over. They have one in Nairobi. They have others.
An office in Nyeri, and then we have others across the country. That you'll have to get to our lines. You'll have to book an appointment for us to link you.
Thank you so much. We say thank you. We are at the rooftop of Lemak Suits. That is where you can see beautiful nice place. You can come to Lemak Suits. You can get yourself a room. You can stay here. It's an apartment, a single and double bedroom and suite. They have a swimming pool, and they have very good packages for those people who live around here and you would wish to become a member of their gym. Then be sure to register with them. I'll give you the contacts here under, and I know that you can be able to communicate with the Limax Suits. They will tell you more. Otherwise, thank you so much. If you want to take your mom and your dad for Tembeza Wazazi package under Bountiful Safaris, get to www.bountifulsafaris.com and we'll be able to share the other contacts here under, and I know that things will be good. Otherwise, thank you so much. Shalom, shalom, shalom. We can tell these people bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Extend
Bye-bye.
grace.